So once again, good morning to all. So today our topic is a bioassay of oxytocins. So already you are familiar with the oxytocin regarding the pharmacology of endocrine systems. Okay, so this oxytocin, it is also known as the love chemicals. Okay, so it is helpful for to create the affections between the relatives and affections between the friends. Okay, maybe girlfriends, maybe boyfriends, or so whatever the love bondings are there between the human beings, so that love bondings are generated or maintained or created by the oxytocins. Okay, if we having oxytocin level less, then the love bonding between the persons or between child and parents, parents and child, friends and friends and neighbors, so that affections cannot be created in society. You can see, okay, some our classmates are there, so they are easily faith on us, that is the love. Okay, some friends are there. Okay, so in the neighbor some friends are there, are in our college, so they're easily faith on us, maybe boyfriend, maybe girlfriends, so they are have some affections of anything is happen with us, they can react to us. And some classmates are also there, some even teachers are also there, so they never interact with the students or never interact with the friends, so when they are the troubles, because so those people they do not having the love bonding, that indicates the oxytocin level is less in their body. Okay, so that posterior pituitary gland, they do not produce sufficient concentrations of oxytocin, so they are more emotions, so they are more boundings, it indicates so they are having the good and more concentrations of oxytocins. So dear students, as the researchers and as the scientist, okay, you should be know, so what is the level of oxytocin in your body, especially girls, because it is required for the to induce the labor. Okay, so you can see in the those girls, they are living in the joint family or in the rural area, especially in the villages, so they do not need the surgery for inductions of the labors. So already you're familiar. So those are living in the city, they do not have the love bonding due to lack of oxygen. Those people only during the labor or pregnancy they go for the surgery. Okay, so that's why. So here it oxytocin or our behavior, it can use idea regarding the oxytocin in our body. So as a pharmacist, you can monitor the behavior of your neighbors or behavior of your parents, behaviors of your brother and sisters and friends. If they are easily having the creating the bondings between you and them, so that indicates they will be having the sufficient concentrations of the oxytocin. And oxytocin is a the love chemicals, it can create the bonding. And regarding the dear students activity, okay, so oxytocins, it mainly causes the uterine muscle contraction. Okay, and in another side, the oxytocin is also decreases the heart rate and blood pressure. Okay, so the oxytocin and other effect, the oxytocin, it can enhance the functions of the mammary gland and helpful for the production and ejaculations of the milk from the mammary gland, that is another functions. But main function, it can helpful for the inductions of the normal labor, that is the labor, by causing the uterine muscle contraction. And second action is it can decreases the blood pressure, also it can decreases the heart rate. So now we want to design as a scientist. Okay, so B Farm is you are eligible for a scientist. If you have the plan, you can conduct some research. So that can give idea regarding the presence of the oxytocin in the preparation. So whatever your preparation or made in your research or lab, or you can make the synthetic drug. So that drug activity is similar to the oxytocins. So instead of oxytocin, you use your drug for inductions of the labor or to improve the functions of the mammary glands. Okay, you are made some research. So then you want to confirm or you identify the bio identity, whether it is a oxytocin or it should be have oxytocin like activity. So then your mind, the criteria was developed or the parameters who can consider or which can consider for the bioassay of insulins. Okay, so those parameters are considered for bioidentity of any drug on the basis of the pharmacological action. So the oxytocin, it can cause the uterine muscle contraction. You consider these parameters. You take standard drug oxytocin, give to the uterus and note down whether uterus contracted or not. If it is contracted, it's okay. It is a standard drug. Definitely that oxytocin can be contract the uterine muscle. And whatever drug you are made or discovered or synthesized, so that drug you give, then note down what dose of that drug can cause the contractions of uterine muscle similar to the our standard drug. If it is find out, then your research or bio identity of oxytocin or oxytocin related your drug was completed. Okay, so like that, what are parameters are there for the bioassay? Okay, so they are considered on the basis of the pharmacological action. And I had told the second action of oxytocins or effect is it can decrease the blood pressure. Then you can consider blood pressure. Okay, give oxytocin standard to some animal and note down the blood pressure. Okay, then whatever you made the preparation, so that can give the another group of animals and note down the effect on the blood pressure. If it is also decreases similar to the standard drug, that indicates your research, your hypothesis, your compound, whatever you made in your research or lab, so that was the correct. It can, your research or your hypothesis can be concluded. So like that, if any biopsy of the new drugs, so their pharmaceutical action was considered, it is known as the that is the pharmacological activity of related to the work or biosafe or interest, but it is not interest of your own. Okay, it should be universally accepted. You can that parameter should give the bio identity of the compound. So here for the bios of oxytocin, we are consider two parameter. One is the uterine muscle contraction. It is helpful for to biopsy of any new preparations of oxytocin, and another parameter is the to decrease in the blood pressure. If our drug causes contraction, it indicates it can give the bio identity to the oxytocin, or if it is decreases the blood pressure, it is also gives the bio identity to the oxytocins. So next one regarding the method 1 or method A, so it is known as the by depressions of the blood pressure in chickens. Okay, so that is second parameter we are consider for the biopsy of the oxytocins. Okay, that is the decrease in the blood pressure. So here the oxytocin, it can decrease the blood pressure. So that's why we can consider the chicken, because the chicken is the animals, so they can maintain their high blood pressure for prolonged times. Okay, so it is a once its blood pressure is increases by any your drug or inducing agent, so that increased blood pressure is present for the prolonged time. So that maintenance of prolonged time constant increased blood pressure is the beneficial for biopsy of any drug. So that drug decrease the blood pressure, maybe antihypertensive or here that is the oxytocin. So that's why the chicken is considered for the biopsy of the oxytocin. The principle is The potency of oxytocin was determined by percentage decrease in the blood pressure that can compared with the standard oxytocin preparations. Regarding animals, here we are using the young healthy adult cockerel or chicken, it is also known as chickens. So weighing is 1.2 to 3 2.3 kg. So this much weight animal should be healthy, should be considered for the practicals. And conditions are, it should be maintained in the healthy diet, uniform diet, all animal ratios, same diet, same amount, and same environmental conditions or experimental lab conditions where your animal kept in the quarantines. So that quarantine conditions is similar to the all the animals. Okay. And 18 hours before experiments animal was fasted. Then during the experiment the water was withdrawals, because if your animal taken water means the urination occurs, so that urine output can enhance the excretions of the drug from the body. So that's why they are decrease the, they can avoid the water, or even the intake of water it can alter the functions, especially when you are taken the water automatically, or we are when you are taken the food automatically our blood pressure was increases, then it can give the false results. So that's why during the experiments the food before 18 hours the food is avoided, because it can involve in the digestions after 6 hours, up to 6 hours, 8 hours. So that's why 18 hours the animals was fasted, and water during the experiments. So water would these are the conditions when you are conducting the any research work in the labs. So when after B farm you can go for the M farm specialization subject where you are interested, then only you are eligible for enter in the R&D, F&D or research centers. So where you can maintain the, if you are using the animals, because we are first done all experiments in the pre-clinicals, that is the before human beings we are experiments all are conducted on the animals. If you are working the pre-clinical studies, so then whatever the conditions are there, so that condition should be maintained, otherwise your result was false, then your drug cannot be approved by the agencies or FDA or so the respective authorities of the particular country. So that's why whatever the standard procedures are there, that should be adopted in your life from the B farm itself, because that can create some research activities in your body or discipline in your body. And regarding the standard preparations, so here the fourth international committee was established in the year 1978. It is give the regarding the hint regarding the standard preparations. So that is present in the freeze dried synthetic oxytocin peptide with the human albumin and citric acid, and it can supplied in ampoule containing 12.5 units per ampoule. It is available in the market for helpful for to induce the labor. So that can you consider for as a standard preparations. Later on you can make the two dilutions once again. So as per your convenient, you can make 1 unit 1 dilution, and second is the 2 units, or as per your need or as per your history study you can make the units for the study. And regarding the procedure, first you take the healthy chicken that weigh around 2 kg. Then first you can anesthetize the all the chickens with the suitable general anesthetic agents, and later on when the animals are anesthetized you can confirm with the help of the eye reflex. Any sharp pin you can put in front of the eye of the chicken. If the eye was not closed, so that indicates the animal was anesthetized. So after that you can isolate the uh, popliteal artery, so that can present in the leg of the animals or leg of any human beings. Okay, so that along with the femoral artery, it is the branch of the popliteal artery, so they can supply the oxygenated blood to the part of the leg. First to isolate that, isolate nothing but up it can expose above whatever the skin muscles are there, so that can be open with the help of the operating scissors. So then you can expose the popliteal artery. So that is known as the isolations of the popliteal artery. But you do not remove from the body. Only you can expose. Okay. Then it can cannulate. So one special type of cannulators there. So they are connected with the transducer. Then transducers are connected with the, so this instrument, this is the blood pressure monitor instrument in the animals. Okay, so here some electrodes are there. So their switch are here. Here is switch is there. So that electrode are known as the transducer. So they are attached with the popliteal artery. So whatever blood pressure was changes, so that can monitor and shows in your monitor of the instruments. So these are the special instruments. So they are helpful for to monitor the blood pressure in the experimental animal. So later on you can isolate and cannulate the brachial vein. So this brachial vein present in the arm, or it can origin from the arm. It is helpful for to supply the blood to the lungs. Okay, so that no, it can carry the blood away from the lungs because it is a veins. Okay, so that can be isolated and cannulated. It is helpful for to administer the drug. It means, so during the bioassay of oxytocin by method A, by using the chicken, you can isolate the two blood vessels, one artery, that is the popliteal artery you can isolate, or femoral artery you can isolate. Femoral artery is also branch of the popliteal artery. Better you can isolate the popliteal artery. Then later on it can connected with the transducer, so that can interconnect with the instruments that can monitor the blood pressure. Then you can isolate the brachial vein. It can carries the deoxygenated blood from the body. Okay, so then, so that brachial vein, it is helpful for the brachial vein is present in the arm. Okay, sorry, I am giving wrong message. It can supply the message to the hands, not to the lungs. Okay, so it is present in the hand where we can monitor the blood pressure in the first years. Okay, so that can isolated, then help put the cannula. So through the cannula, whatever drug during the experiment, that can be administered. So later on you can make the two doses of standard and test solutions according to Latin square by maintaining 3 to 10 minutes gap. You can take the response. Latin square indicates first to take the response of standard with dose 1. Before that you can monitor the blood pressure, normal blood pressure without any drug in the all the animals. So later on you can use the dose 1, then monitor the blood pressure, wait for 3 to 10 minutes, then give the dose 2 and monitor the blood pressure. So like that you can continue at least 6 sets of responses. Okay, so then where you can calculate the mean value, then you can got the exact results from. Okay, and regarding test solution also you can make the two doses, and according to Latin square, first you can treat with the dose 1, so units, then wait for 3 to 10 minutes. After that you can give the dose 2 and note down how much blood pressure was decreases as compared to normal reading. Then later on you can give the dose 2, then monitor blood pressure in the same animal, and later on dose 1. Then continue with the Latin square, dose 1, dose, like that. Total you can take the 6 set. You can use the 1 chickens. Okay, you can monitor blood pressure. Then result was compared with the that is the test solution responses are compared with the standard. Then after 6 response you need further clarification. You can change the animal, you can take the another animal, and according to Latin square you can monitor the blood pressure, and at the end of the experiment you calculate percentage decrease in the blood pressure in the test solution compare with the standard. Then you can got the bio identity of the oxytocin, or you can got the idea regarding the concentrations of oxytocin present in the test solutions, or you discovered drug. So like that, by monitoring the blood pressure in the chicken is helpful for the bioassay of the oxytocins. And second method regarding by contractions of rat uterus. Okay, because oxytocin definitely it can cause the uterine muscle contraction that is helpful for the inductions of the labor. So that was studied, or the test solution activity or you discovered drug activity was studied by isolating the rat uterus regarding the principle. So here the test solutions effect regarding the contractions of uterine muscle was compared with the standard preparations of oxytocin with known concentrations. So standard means it will be having the known concentration. Then you can match. So how much dose of standard it can cause the uterine muscle contraction. Then you can monitor your drug. How much our test sample can take the drug or amount to show the uterine muscle contraction similar to the standard preparation. It is the main principles of the method B, that is the by contractions of the rat uterus. And here regarding animals, we require the female rat because uterus is only present in the female, not in the present in the male rats. So that's why you can take the non-pregnant female rat weighing 120 to 200 gram. So that is the healthy weight or normal weight. And once again you can maintain all the standard conditions. And here we require the physiological salt solution, that is PSS. So this is your normal saline, dextrose or ringer lactate RL. So these all are the physiological salt solutions. So they are given to the human beings. And here some solutions are there. So they like frog ringer solutions are there, thyroid solutions are there, D-Jolon solutions are there. So these all are the solutions, physiological salt solution. So they can give the animals. So these solution they can replace the blood. So blood it can give to body regarding the electrolytes and ATP in the form of the glucose. Same these physiological salt solution they are also contain glucose and also contain the minerals. So they can replace the blood. So what blood can do, the same effect was do by these physiological salt solutions. So here in method B we require the D-Jolon solutions. Okay, so in the study of bioassay of oxytocin by using rat uterus were you using the physiological salt solutions like a D-Jolons. If you are using the frog heart means you can should be use the frog ringer solution. Their composition is different. If you are using the ileum, jejunum, duodenum of rabbit and guinea pig ileum, where you can use the thyroid solutions. But when you are using the uterus of the rat or any animal's uterus. So where you can want to study the effect of the drug on the uterus. So where you can use the D-Jolon solutions. And the composition of D-Jolon solution is contain the sodium chloride, source of sodium, and sodium is required for the depolarization, and depolarization is required for the opening of the calcium channel, and calcium opening of calcium channel, due to opening of calcium channel the calcium can enter in the muscle that can cause the contraction. That is the role of the sodium chloride. It is a source of sodium and sodium is required for the depolarizations. And potassium chloride, it is a source of the potassium and potassium is required for the relaxations of the muscles. After contraction there is need to relax to prepare the muscle for next contraction. So that relaxation can regulate the potassium that is also present in the D-Jolon solutions. Calcium chloride, the source of calcium, and calcium is required for the conductions of message from one cell to another cell and as well as contractions of the muscles. Okay, then sodium bicarbonate, it can adjust the pH of the D-Jolon solution similar to the blood. Then disodium hydrogen phosphate, sodium dihydrogen phosphate, magnesium chloride, these are also acts as the buffering agents helpful for to adjust the pH of that physiological salt solution similar to the blood of the rat. Then dextrose is the source of the glucose or source of the ATP. So our blood is also giving the same amount. So due to when you isolate the rat uterus away from the animal, so that do not got the any blood, so that's why we're using the dissolved solutions or PSS. It is can use the electrolytes similar to the blood. Due to presence of D-Jolon in the correct concentration, that rat uterus can be survived during the whole experiments. So when you're preparing the solution, so as per the content you can prepare, as per your procedure standard you should prepare, otherwise any variation then the tissue was die. If you are giving more potassium means more relaxations, then animals that tissue was die. Okay, if lack of glucose mean then ATP is less, then once again the tissue was die. If you are giving more calcium more sodium, or less calcium less sodium mean the proper muscle contraction do not occur. So that's why, so whatever the procedures are there, whatever the content they are mentioned in the standard operative procedure, that only amount you can measure correctly if you want to correct result and accurate result. So this is the PS. It is used or D-Jalan solution used in the method B. And regarding the procedure, so this is the assembly. So this assembly was known as the student organ bath. Okay, containing of the organ bath. It is well maintained. It is adjusted. It is having the water jacket. So that is filled with the water. It consists of one thermostat. It is helpful for to maintain the temperature. So here we are maintaining the 37 degrees centigrade temperature of this chamber. So that temperature similar to the rat body. So due to presence of PSS, that is dissolvent solution, and this much temperature, so this rat uterus was survived during the whole experiments. Okay, so dear students, so before isolations of rat uterus, you can confirm whether the menstrual cycle is occurs in rat or not. Okay, if it is not menstrual suffering menstrual cycle occurs recently, okay, then you can induce you the drug, then induce the menstrual cycle. So here the menstrual cycle was confirmed by taking the that is a sample from the vagina of the rat and subjected to the microscope. So under the microscope, some proteins fibers are present. So these are the damage of the follicles due to flow of the menstrual cycle. So when you are taken the with the help of the cotton, you can take the vaginal smear of the rat under study, then that smear put on the slide and observe under the microscope. If any threads are broken, proteins are present or tissues are present, it confirm so that rat under the stress. Stress means menstrual flow or menstrual cycle is occur, then only you can sacrifice the rat, otherwise you do not sacrifice. If it is not present, it indicates the animal is not having the estrous cycle or menstrual cycle was not started. So where you can give the silbestrol, that is the estrogen derivatives. It is the available in the market, that is silbestrol. So that silbestrol is dissolved in the coconut oil. Then the dissolved in the coconut oil solution was given to the rat uterus. So within 12 hours or 24 hours, the estrous cycle is occurs in the rat if it is even it is not in the normal time. Okay, actually today you want to tomorrow you want to practical, but the rat is do not having the menstrual cycle, its period is long, or after few days the menstrual cycle is occur in rat, but you need it tomorrow itself for the study, because you have not have that much time to wait for the 8 hours. You take the vaginal smear and confirm it is, if it is not stress or menstrual cycle is not flow, then you can use the silbistol in the coconut oil through the subcutaneous injection, and in the next morning once again you can take the vaginal smear and observe under the microscope if these threads are fallopian tubes broken are present, so that indicates so that animals are under the starting of the menstrual cycle. After that, you can pit the rat by simple one hand you can put on the head, another you can pull the tail. So when you're pulling the tail, the spinal cord was broken down, Due to broken spinal cord in the neck, the animals are anesthetized. Then you can cut the abdominal cavity where you can expose the uterus. Okay, or fallopian tubes. Okay, so where uterus is present, it is a some color was changes to silky, so that indicates it is under stress. Then you isolate that and tie the thread one below it is attached with the aerator tube or oxygen tube. This is the oxygen tube. In the one thread is bind with the below, and another thread you can tie with the upper end and bind with the writing lever, and this is the response recorded in monitors or in the rotating drums. In our lab, you are having not the digital, you are having a rotating drum, but in the advanced lab, they are having the computerized monitor. So where we can bind with the transducer. This is the transducer. Then it is record on the our monitors. So this is the rat uterus, and this is the oxygen tube. It can use the, it is also known as the, it can connect to the aerator, so that aerator can use the 95% oxygen and 5% carbon dioxide. So whatever you are taken the oxygen in hospitals or during your whatever oxygen you are given to the animals, so that oxygen is also containing 5% of carbon dioxide, 95% of the oxygen. If you are giving pure 100% of oxygen, means then only the person or animal was died due to acidosis. So that's why they are mixture of 95% oxygen, 5% of carbon dioxide, and even that can containing the small traces of the nitrogen gases to avoid the acidosis or death of the human beings. And later on, you can, with the help of the 3 point biopsy or matching biopsy or interpolation, you can record the response according to Latin square. First you record the response of standard, then later on you can record the response of the test. So with the help of the interpolation, you can find out the unknown concentrations. Okay, or with the help of matching assay, you can find out if the if your test sample is less, or you need more accuracy, then go for the 3.4.6.8 point biopsy. So this is the method B, that is a bias of oscillus, that is oxytocin, by using the rat uterus. So here you are putting, first you take the DRC of standard by changing ringer solutions by maintaining 5 minute times. First you can record the, that is the baseline by standard. Then after that you can put the drug, then record the response for 30 seconds. Then wash, all drug is removed. Once again you record the baseline for 30 seconds. Then you can put the 0.2 ml of standard drug and response is recorded. Like that you can record the DRC of standard. Then later on you can record the DRC of test. Then you select the, by apply here, that is the interpolation, by calculate log dose percent of response, or if you are following the 3.2 point selected from the standard, 1 point is selected from the test, or if you are using 4.2 point from test standard and 2 point from the test, then you apply the interpolation biopsy, then or 3 point biopsy, or according to Latin square you can continue the practical, and finally use the formula and calculate the unknown concentration. Then you can confirm the how much drug is present in your test solutions or your prepared solutions by using the rat uterus. But you should be use the rat uterus when it is showing the menstrual flow, so that can confirm with the help of the, by taking the vaginal smear.